80 meters below the surface. Venezuelan waters. A U.S. Virginia-class submarine, $3 billion, silent as death, inches toward the line. 12 nautical miles from shore. The line you don't cross. Cross it submerged. Trespassing. War crime. International incident. Stay outside. Legal. Barely. Above the sub, a Venezuelan Guaiquerí-class patrol ship. Pinging. Hunting. 2 Su-30 fighter jets scrambling from shore. A U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon overhead, dropping sonobuoys. Splash, splash, splash. Underwater microphones, building a fence. Then, the radio erupts. Spanish and English. Submarine contact, bearing 210. You are near territorial waters. Identify and comply. The captain doesn't answer. One word on the radio equals position compromised. One buoy drifts south equals the picture says they're trespassing. One active sonar ping locks on equals no more hiding. Over the horizon, a U.S. destroyer speeds up, ready to intervene if this breaks bad. The sub holds at periscope depth, checking range to shore, to those sonobuoys, meter by meter. The mission: stay outside the line, stay invisible, stay alive. The problem? The ocean doesn't hold still, and neither does Venezuela. 12 miles of water, 60 seconds of drift, one invisible line. Nobody's blinking. Keep watching. Picture the map. North coast of Venezuela. La Orchila Island in the middle. Isla Margarita to the east. Paraguana Peninsula to the west. Busy water. Fishing boats. Oil tankers. Patrol aircraft. The seabed drops fast. Shallow shelf to deep water in minutes. Perfect for submarines. Close to shore. Room to hide. The legal boundary, 12 nautical miles. Outside, international waters. Any warship can operate freely. Inside, sovereign territory. Submarines must surface and show their flag. That's the law of the sea. The U.S. sub is working the edge. Close enough to collect intelligence. Far enough to stay legal. Why the tension? Late 2025, U.S. ships and aircraft ramped up operations in the region. Counter-narcotics. Freedom of navigation missions. Venezuela responded with drills. Public warnings about foreign ships near its islands. Headlines exploded. Boat seizures. Claimed raids on fishing vessels. Venezuelan jets buzzing a U.S. destroyer. Each story adds pressure. Each patrol adds the chance for a face-off. So what's the Virginia-class doing here? Tracking surface activity. Listening to military communications. Mapping patrol patterns. Ready to support U.S. ships if things turn fast. The mission is boring when it works. Quiet, steady, unseen. But staying unseen? That's the trick. Here's how the ocean works. Coastal countries claim a territorial sea up to 12 nautical miles from shore. Inside that line, their laws apply. Like land. Foreign ships can pass through, but the passage must be innocent. No spying, no weapons drills, no launching aircraft, no fishing. Special rule for submarines. If you enter the territorial sea, you must be on the surface and show your flag. Submerged inside 12 miles equals not innocent passage. Beyond 12 miles, the exclusive economic zone, EEZ, extends to 200 nautical miles. The coastal country controls natural resources, fish, oil, gas, but it does not control military activity the same way. Foreign warships, aircraft, and submarines can operate in the EEZ, as long as they stay outside the 12-mile territorial sea. That's why the Virginia-class is working close to the line. It can operate freely, but it needs to be precise. There's also a contiguous zone out to 24 nautical miles, where a country can enforce certain border laws. But again, not full control. The key takeaway, the 12-mile line is the hard boundary for sovereignty. Cross it submerged and you're asking for trouble. Stay outside and you're in international waters. The U.S. captain knows the rules. The Venezuelan patrol knows them too. The tension? How close both sides are willing to press their luck. Detection starts in the sky. The U.S. P-8A Poseidon flies a ladder pattern, drops sonobuoys in a line. 3 types hit the water. DIFAR buoys. Passive directional listening. They hear everything and tell you which direction it came from. Die-cast buoys. Active. They ping. Wait for an echo. Paint a target. VLAD buoys. Very low frequency active detection. Long range. Deep penetration. Each buoy reports a slice of the ocean. Together, a fence. The P-8 crew works fast. Buoys splash every 30 seconds. Pattern tightens. One passive buoy catches it first. A low-frequency hum. Narrow band. Steady. Not cargo machinery. Those rumble wide and messy. Not biologics. Whales sing, "Don't drone." This is mechanical. Controlled. Submarine. The acoustic operator tags it. Subsurface contact. Bearing 210. Two more buoys triangulate. Bearing sharpens. Range estimated, 8 miles. The contact is moving slow, maybe 4 knots, trying to stay quiet. But the Virginia-class has a problem. Even at ultra-quiet, the pump jet propulsion puts out a signature. Faint. But if you know what to listen for, and Venezuela does, it's there. Venezuela knows this game. An AB-212 helicopter lifts off with AN/AQS-13 dipping sonar, hovers, lowers the transducer 200 feet into the water, listens and slices. Each dip covers a cone, maybe a mile wide at depth. Hop 2 miles, dip again, hop, dip, like a bloodhound working a grid. The Guaiquerí-class patrol ship steams to the area, 2,400 tons. Flight deck, hull-mounted EDO 796 sonar. It relays what the aircraft hears, watches radar for any periscope or mast breaking the surface. Down below, the submarine crew feels the change. The ocean gets noisy. Passive listening turns into active hunting. Pings start rolling in, distant at first, then closer. The sonar officer calls out each bearing. The captain checks the plot. They're boxed. He orders ultra-quiet. Speed drops to 3 knots, barely faster than a drifting log. Reactor coolant pumps shift to natural circulation. No forced flow, no pump noise. Auxiliary system secured. Air handlers cut to minimum. The crew stops moving. Every footstep is a signal. They slide under the thermocline, a temperature boundary at 80 meters where warm surface water meets cold deep water. Sound bends here, refracts downward, creates a shadow zone above, where sonar ears go partially deaf. It's not invisibility, it's camouflage. The P-8A cross-references 2 buoys, gets a rough bearing, 210 from the buoy line. That points toward the sub's track, still outside 12 miles but drifting closer. At periscope depth, the captain risks a quick look. Seas calm. A mast wake could betray them. A thin white line trailing behind the scope. Up. Sweep the horizon. Down. 3 seconds exposed. Nothing visible but a distant patrol ship. Hull down, maybe 15 miles out. Then the radio call goes out, Spanish and English, warning a submerged contact near territorial waters. The fence is closing, and the sub has nowhere to run without making noise. The radio crackles. International hailing frequency, Venezuelan patrol ship. Submerged contact northeast of La Orquilla. You are approaching territorial waters. Identify and comply. 18 miles out, safely outside the 12-mile limit. But the warning is a message. We see you, and we want you to move. The Guaiquerí-class patrol ship pivots. Boxes in the estimated track, starts launching its own sonobuoys, tightening the net. From the U.S. destroyer, a measured reply. Venezuelan patrol vessel, this is a United States warship operating in international waters. We intend to remain outside territorial sea. Recommend you maintain safe distance. Both sides stick to phrases they can defend later. The U.S. destroyer isn't confirming there's a submarine. The Venezuelan ship isn't admitting they don't have a solid fix. Each message is also for the record, because press statements write themselves if anything goes wrong. Overhead, the P-8A lays a second line of buoys, offset from the first. Double locks on a door. The aircraft keeps distance but updates the destroyer in short coded bursts. The Venezuelan AB-212 helicopter arrives, starts dipping its sonar. Each dip, a minute or 2 of listening, short hop, another dip, like stepping stones. Down below, the sub-captain nudges the boat a few degrees off the predicted path. A small change now looks big on the other side of a buoy fence. Speed stays slow. Depth stays just below the layer. The goal, be where the other side isn't looking. Make their fix age out by the minute. 2 Su-30 fighters take off, head toward the area. They won't see the sub, but they can make the sky feel crowded, especially for the P-8A. The U.S. crew keeps altitude and course. logs everything. Another Venezuelan radio call. Firmer. Unknown submarine contact. You are ordered to surface if you intend to enter Venezuelan waters. The sub won't. The plan, hold the line. Let the clock work in their favor. The hunt changes with one decision. Go active. Up to now, most listening has been passive, ears only. But when a commander says transmit, the sea stops being quiet. It starts screaming. The Venezuelan patrol ship orders its EDO 796 hull sonar to ping. Boom. A bright, hard tone, 600 hertz, rolls through the water, every 20 seconds, like a hammer hitting a bell underwater. The sound travels 1,500 meters per second, hits the submarine, bounces back. If the return is strong enough, the patrol ship gets range, bearing, and depth. The AB-212 helicopter joins in, lowers its AN/AQS-13 dipping sonar, sends shorter, higher frequency bursts. Ping, ping, ping. These cut through the thermocline better, but they're also shorter range. The idea: light up the water, catch a reflection, turn a guess into a hard track. The US submarine feels it immediately. The sonar officer's headset fills with noise. Active sonar isn't subtle, it's violent. Like someone shining a spotlight directly into your eyes in a dark room. Worse, it tells you they're close and hunting hard. The captain answers with the dance. Move 1. Depth. Dive to 150 meters, below the thermocline. Down here, sound bends up and away, creates a blind spot above. The patrol ship's sonar beam skips over them like a stone skipping water. Move 2. Course. Slow, deliberate turn, 10 degrees to starboard. Changes the aspect angle, makes the acoustic profile shift. No sudden speed bursts. Cavitation from the pump jet would roar like a freight train. No sharp rudder changes. Those create turbulence, a swirling signature that lasts for minutes. Just patient, calculated evasion. The fire control team updates the plot, marks every ping source. Patrol ship, bearing 045, range 12 miles. Helicopter, bearing 080, range 8 miles, moving. P-8A, bearing 120, range 20 miles. International waters. They're surrounded, but not trapped. Not yet. Move 3. Decoy prep. The torpedo room preps a mobile decoy, a small self-propelled device that mimics submarine acoustics. But the captain holds. Using it now would confirm their position. Save it for when things get desperate. In the sky, the P-8A lays a few active die-cast buoys of its own, but out in international waters, 15 miles from the Venezuelan patrol ship. The aircrew wants to protect the destroyer and help the submarine, but they can't afford a confrontation inside Venezuela's sensor range. Radio traffic stays clipped and professional. Venezuelan patrol vessel, United States warship operating outside territorial sea. Request safe separation from small craft. The patrol ship doesn't back off. It swings hard across the estimated submarine track, drops 4 more expendable sonobuoys in a zigzag pattern. The helicopter hops 3 miles north, dips, listens, hops again, dips. Grid tightening. From shore, the 2 Su-30s report visual on the P-8A at 15,000 feet. They can't touch a submarine 150 meters down, but they can make the sky dangerous, force the P-8 to stay defensive, burn fuel, limit options. Below, the submarine team watches 2 clocks. Buoy battery life. Most sonobuoys last 2 to 4 hours. After that, gaps open. Reactor coolant temp. Running ultra quiet with natural circulation works, but only for so long before heat builds. The captain edges the boat toward a patch of deeper water, 200 meters, where the sound channel shifts again. He shapes the course to mimic a slow merchant turn. No aggressive maneuvers, no noisemakers, no decoys. Not yet. That would be overkill for peacetime, and could be read as preparation to fight. But there's a new danger creeping in: drift. The current here runs 1.5 knots northeast, pushing the buoy field south, toward the 12-mile line. Even if the submarine holds perfectly still, the acoustic picture might show it moving closer to Venezuelan territory. And if Venezuela thinks the sub is crossing the line, then restraint becomes a decision someone else makes. The line on everyone's chart is the same, 12 nautical miles. The Venezuelan crew wants the sub to cross it, or blink. The US crew wants to stay legal and unseen. The ocean has other plans. A small rain squall forms, drifts over the buoy field. Wind pushes a few sonobuoys south, closer to shore. The rest hold position. Now the bearings don't line up cleanly. Is the contact heading in, or did the buoys move? On the patrol ship, the plot looks like a slow creep toward the 12-mile circle. Next radio call is sharper. Submerged contact, you are entering Venezuelan waters. Surface immediately. The submarine hasn't moved inside. The captain turns 2 degrees away from the coast. Drops another few meters beneath the temperature layer. Speed, 2.5 knots. The goal isn't to win the chase, it's to make the picture so messy that nobody can prove anything. The P-8A shifts to the far side of the box, updates bearings from fresh buoys in international waters. The US destroyer broadcasts again. All US units are operating outside territorial seas, calls for safe separation from aircraft and small boats. Then the big change. The squall deepens. The layer strengthens. Active ping smear. The AB-212 lowers its sonar. Here's mostly rain. The patrol ship's last solid return ages out. No update, no range, just a stale dot on a screen and a lot of radio traffic. The submarine holds its course just outside the line. Lets time do the work. After 10 long minutes, the picture collapses into uncertainty. No one fires. No one crosses inside. The standoff doesn't explode. It dissolves. That's the real turning point, choosing not to give the other side the clip they want. By morning, the story splits in two. US version. All units operated in international waters the entire time. Acted with restraint. The destroyer's bridge-to-bridge calls are logged. The P-8A's buoy drops stayed outside the 12-mile line. Nothing entered territorial sea. No one fired a shot. Venezuelan version. A foreign submarine came dangerously close to its islands. Air and sea forces responded to protect sovereignty. Radar tracks. Radio recordings. Active sonar timing. Proof of provocation. Warning. Future incidents will be met with firm measures. In the middle of all that, small details get lost. The rain squall that pushed buoys off station. The quiet course change that kept the sub outside the line. The long pauses where nothing happened, and discipline held. The crews go back to routine. P-8A lands. Patrol ship returns to base. Destroyer drops speed. And the submarine, still quiet, heads into deeper water to write its report and listen to the next patch of sea. That's the job. Not winning the headline, avoiding it. Let's talk gear. US Virginia-class attack submarine nuclear-powered, fast, built for stealth, pump jet propulsion instead of a propeller, cuts noise by half. Sensors, bow sonar, flank arrays along the hull, long-towed array for listening. Weapons, Mk-48 heavyweight torpedoes, Tomahawk cruise missiles. None of that matters if you never shoot. P-8A Poseidon, Boeing 737 base patrol aircraft. Carries sonobuoys, powerful radar, camera turret. If needed, torpedoes. Turns a quiet ocean into data. Venezuelan Guaiquerí-class patrol ship, 2,400 tons. Radar, 76mm gun, helicopter deck, solid for patrol work, but not a frontline sub-hunter. A B-212 helicopter, dipping sonar, slow, short-legged, can help, but limited. Su-30 fighters, twin-engine heavy fighters, can pressure aircraft, threaten ships with anti-ship missiles, but can't touch a submarine they can't find. Incidents like this test more than seamanship. They test restraint. A wrong read on buoy drift becomes a claim of intrusion. A close pass in the air sparks a dangerous turn at sea. Each side talks to domestic audiences. We defended our waters. We upheld freedom of navigation. The United States wants to show it can operate legally, close, and calm. Venezuela wants to show it can push back and raise costs. Neither side benefits from a shootout, but both benefit from a headline, if it favors them. That's why clear radio calls matter. Precise navigation matters. Staying outside the 12-mile line matters. They reduce guesswork, buy time, keep a tense night from turning into a week of crisis. One buoy, one ping, one wrong turn, that's all it takes. And the ocean doesn't care who's right. 12 nautical miles. One invisible line in the water. A $3 billion submarine on one side, a patrol ship and 2 fighters on the other. No shots fired, no boats sunk, no headlines screaming war, just discipline, precision, restraint. Because the most dangerous weapon in modern naval warfare isn't a torpedo, it's a mistake. The US sub stayed outside the line, barely. Venezuela pressed hard, but not too hard. And a rain squall gave both sides an excuse to let the picture fade. That's how close calls stay cold. Not with firepower, with patience. If this changed how you see submarine warfare and the thin line between peace and crisis, hit subscribe and share it with someone who loves naval ops and the silent service. Keep watching.